Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dog Q&A. This is number 31. And as you can see, it's the day after Christmas. I have my reindeer antlers, which are super distracting, but I love them, so I decided to wear them. Got them as a gift at a birthday party this week. But today we are going to talk about, in honor of our Christmas season, help, I got a puppy for Christmas. Now what do I do? So this is for anyone who got a puppy for Christmas that they were expecting or not expecting. Congratulations, by the way. Now you have this new bundle of fur to take care of. I'm going to be here to help you navigate through this process and help incorporate this new ball of fur into your life. So I'm going to give you 3 things you can do right off the bat to help prepare your puppy for his new home and to help make him a good pet as he grows up. So the first thing we're going to look at, look how cute. So that's why people get puppies right there, because they are just stinking adorable. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is crate training. Now, there are, crate training solves so many problems at once. It's a beautiful thing. There are a lot of different types of crates on the market. You can see a few of them here, but I usually recommend 2 different styles. The first is a wire crate. This one I recommend a lot. And the main reason is because you can see it has a divider panel. So it gives you a way to expand the crate as your puppy grows, so you don't have to keep buying crate after crate after crate. So that's makes it very affordable. And it's more open for airflow. So if you have a double-coated breed, that might be good for that dog. The bottom tray also comes out to be cleaned, and it's a lot easier to clean when you can just take it out like that. So for those 3 reasons, that's why I recommend this for puppy people. The reason you need that divider panel is because your puppy should only have enough space to stand up and turn around. And that will prevent him from pottying inside. And sometimes dogs will continue to potty in the crate even when it's the correct size. A couple of reasons for that is the space is too big. So you need to lessen the space that your puppy is in even more, even though it looks like it may be too small. As long as your puppy can stand up and turn around, that's plenty of space. You didn't take your puppy out often enough, so that's another reason he may potty in his crate. The general rule of thumb is that puppies need to potty, or puppies can hold their bladder 1 hour for every month of age. +1. So if your puppy is 2 months old, you add 1, that's 3. That's the number of hours your puppy can typically hold their bladder. This rule works up until maybe 4, 5, 6 months tops. So if you have a 5-month-old puppy, sometimes they can hold it 6 hours would be the rule, but sometimes they can hold it even longer. So by then your puppy should be starting to learn to hold their bladder. The third reason your puppy may potty in the crate is that there's bedding inside. And I know we want it to be soft and warm and fuzzy for the puppy, but if your puppy is using that to potty and then pushes it aside so he doesn't have to lie in it, then it's working against your house training. So you need to get rid of the bedding, and sometimes that solves the problem altogether. Okay, so that's the wire crate. The second crate I recommend is an airline crate or a plastic kennel. So these are more enclosed. They're more like a den, offer more privacy for your dog, and they're typically more lightweight and more portable. So these are great for taking in the car. It helps block your dog's view of what's going on outside the car. So good for travel as well. So that's the other option, are these airline crates. You can take them apart. The top half will come off, and not easily because you have to unscrew all the bolts that are holding it together, but you can take it apart and then clean it that way as well. Okay, so next up, number 2 on our list of things that can help you with your new puppy, house training. So there are 2 main steps to house training a puppy or a dog. Number 1 is management, and number 2 is reinforcement. So flip my notes here. So what management means is making sure you're preventing your puppy from pottying in the house in the first place. And the way you do this is by not giving your puppy total freedom in the house. Limiting the freedom like this is a great idea. So we've got the crate inside an X pen with a bed, food, water, everything your puppy needs. That is plenty of space for a brand new puppy who doesn't know the rules of the house yet. The other thing with managing your puppy is keeping him either in his crate or on a leash with you if he's in the house. So that way he does not have the opportunity to run off and potty somewhere without you noticing. That is number 1 with house training, is you cannot give your puppy a chance to sneak off and potty somewhere. Number 2, and of course you're going to mess up and that's okay, but overall, limit your puppy's freedom. That, I will say, the biggest mistake puppy owners make is giving too much freedom too fast. We all do it, but with puppies, less is more. The smaller the space, the less chance your puppy has to make a mistake, the less chance of him potting on the floor, destroying something, etc. And the smaller the space, the more comfortable your dog will be. So just keep that in mind. You should, however, take your puppy out on a leash every day and give him a tour of the house, of the areas you want him to be in. With a brand new puppy, you don't want to start on day 1, but over time, next few weeks, give him a tour of the house where you have him on a leash with you and you reward him for doing things you like when he's walking through the house. And that teaches him what to do in the house. Maybe you have him sit next to a piece of furniture instead of jumping on it, and you give him a treat for that. So that's important as well. Step 2 in house training your puppy is rewarding the good things. This is just as important. You want to make sure you're telling your puppy what you want him to do. A lot of us assume that our dogs just know everything we want. I think we assume the same thing about the people around us, but we need to communicate that to our dog, which can be done through food very easily with most dogs, or toys. So you want to make sure that you take your puppy out often enough until he learns to hold his bladder. So for an 8-week-old puppy that's 2 months old, like we talked about, that means taking him out every 3 hours. But what that means is that every 3 hours, you have a chance to reward your puppy outside for pottying where you want him to go. You also need to take him out. There's a great rule that fits very well, is about every 20 minutes, your puppy will have to go after a meal. So 20 minutes after a meal, he's going to have to potty. 20 minutes, within 20 minutes of waking up, he will have to potty. Within 20 minutes of a play session, he will have to potty. So these are all more opportunities to take your puppy out to potty and reward him for going where you want him to go. You can even add a cue word while your puppy potties, like good potty, take a break, whatever you want to use. Could be anything, it doesn't matter. Your dog does not know English. But when he potties and you reward him, tell him good potty. That way you can send him out to potty when you want him to go when he gets older. I find that to be great for traveling with your dog. Okay, then number 3 on our list of things you want your puppy to know right off the bat, socialization. So the critical thing here is to understand what that word means in relation to dogs, because a lot of time people think it means flooding your dog with something that he's terrified of. That is not what socialization is. Socialization is teaching your puppy to be neutral to everything. So that means making you more interesting than everything else around your puppy. So making sure that when your puppy encounters a new thing, that it's positive for your puppy. So again, using your puppy's kibble or food is a great way to make things positive for him. There is something I want to mention here, and that's the critical socialization window of puppies. So the biggest thing to keep in mind is that this window is limited at best. So when the puppy is 12 weeks old, that window is closing. Sometimes it can last up to 21 weeks, but by then, that's it. Everything your puppy has encountered in his life that's kind of sealed in there, that's what he's going to be good at, provided it was positive during that window. When dogs have a trauma or a fear association during this window, that can last their entire lifetime. So this is a very critical time for your puppy to encounter everything you want him to encounter in his life for the rest of his life and be good with it. And you have to make it positive. Everything needs to be positive during this period of time. So a lot of times we get our puppies home at 8 weeks old. That typically is the youngest age a breeder will release a puppy, and that's a good thing. But that means you've got a month now to get your puppy used to everything you want him to do in his life. So the race is on a little bit. Now, if you bring a puppy home after 12 weeks of age, it's important to realize that unless your puppy was at the breeder being socialized during that time that you didn't have your puppy, you're kind of going to be at the mercy of his genetics. You can't really change who your dog's going to be at that point, but you can always help make everything in his world as positive as possible from that point forward. So just keep that in mind. So I want to play a video from Urban Dog that explains this really well. Let's see if I can get this to play here. Oh, the video's not playing here. So what I'm going to do is pull it up on another. I'm going to pull it up directly from my notes and do it that way. So bear with me here. And let me get this video going. And let me see if I can. Pause that there. Let me expand the screen. And then I'm going to go ahead and share this screen here. 1 second, please. Okay, so I want to go back to my screen share and we'll play this video here. Thank you for your patience with my technical savvy here. Okay, puppy kindergarten class. This will be about 1.5 minutes.
This video illustrates and demonstrates just how important puppy development is to the life of a dog. A dog's critical development period starts at birth and ends around 21 weeks. This is the most impactful time in a dog's learning, as all things the dog is exposed to in this critical time will have a lasting effect on their behavior forever. No need to worry. Simply provide the puppy with proper education through socialization and training, and you'll avoid many behavior and training issues. Or, should behavior and training issues arise in the future, you'll have the proper information to address them appropriately.
Okay, so I just wanted to play that little clip because it summarized what I was trying to say so well. I loved it. Okay, so let's go back to our slide here. Now, obviously dogs are one thing you definitely want to socialize your puppy to. What are other things? Go to our socialization checklist. So this is kind of a list of some things that can help prompt you to think about the things you want to socialize your puppy to. So things like handling, how about being bathed and towel dried? How about putting on a collar, wearing clothes, inspecting the ears, wiping the eyes, clipping the toenails, things like that. Think about socializing your puppy to different types of people, babies, toddler, children, people in wheelchairs, people in walkers, hats, uniforms, umbrellas, things like that. And by the way, don't subject someone else's baby or toddler or child to your puppy unless they welcome that. And then you want to do that in an appropriate way. So make sure you do some research there. You want to get your puppy used to different places, playgrounds, markets, maybe shopping malls. What about different substrate like sand, cobblestone, mud? Everything's going to be brand new to your puppy. So he's not going to know how to do any of it unless you teach him. How about sounds? Cars, motorcycles, sirens, hair dryer, washing machine, TV, vacuum cleaner. One of the things you want to think about are fireworks and thunderstorms, because a lot of dogs can become overly sensitized to these sounds and then become fearful later in life. So you can buy a recording that has all of these sounds on it and just play it at a low volume all day long for your puppy and get them used to it now. What about animals? If you live on a farm, you want to get them used to different things, horses, cows, pigs. Maybe you have a cat. You want to introduce him to the cat in a positive way. So just some things to think about when you're socializing your puppy. Now, I want to say this. There are always vets out there who say very adamantly, don't take your puppy out until he's 16 weeks old and he's fully vaccinated. The problem with that is that when we looked at the chart of development of our puppies and the critical socialization window, it ends before that time. So if you do not take your puppy out ever, then until they're fully vaccinated, then you're missing that window of time and you've got a very under-socialized puppy. And we're seeing more reactivity in dogs in general, and there are a lot of different theories to that, but you want to, I'll say, socialize your puppy in a way that is safe. So you're listening to your vet, you're doing things safely, but you're also listening to your dog trainer telling you to get your puppy socialized. So I wanted to put this chart up about puppy antibodies. So you can see when puppies are born, they don't have their own antibodies yet, but they do have all of their mom's antibodies. So those will carry them through to this point, which is their window of susceptibility. That's where they will start to, that's where they get their vaccine that helps give them their own antibodies. So it's just something I want to throw out there so you can do your own research and make an informed decision on when you want to give vaccines to your puppy. You can have go to a holistic vet who can do titer testing to determine what type of antibodies your puppy has, when the vaccines will be needed. So your holistic vet will help you determine this window of susceptibility for your puppy and when you need to start doing the vaccines. So just keep that in mind. Now, there is a way to socialize your puppy while keeping him safe at the same time. Keep in mind that the main thing that most people are worried about is parvo. And yes, parvo can be deadly for puppies. So how do you avoid risking your puppy's exposure to parvo while keeping him socialized? Well, you want to avoid places where other dogs poop and pee. Moist, grassy areas are prime carriers of parvo very often. So adult dogs can carry it and not be susceptible to the symptoms of it, or the effects of it, I should say. So you can go to a dog park and see all these dogs who are fine, but you take a puppy there and he can get sick. And the reason is because puppies don't have the vaccine or the immunity that an adult dog does. So avoid moist, grassy areas where a lot of other dogs frequent, because parvo is spread through the urine and feces of adult dogs who may have it and aren't susceptible to the symptoms. A couple of other things you can do to keep your puppy safe while you're socializing your puppy are take your dog in the car. Then you can teach your puppy how to be in a car. Go to somewhere fun that's safe for your puppy and teach him that the car means good things are coming. Sign up for a puppy class. Puppy classes require at least one set of vaccinations for the puppies. Everything is very clean and sterilized and properly maintained for the puppies to keep them safe. And then your dog gets socialized to people and other puppies in a safe and controlled environment. Walk your puppy on a collar and a leash on the sidewalk, which is less prone to harboring disease. And then your puppy gets used to going on walks. And a lot of people think you can just slap on a collar and a leash on a puppy and he'll know what to do. And that's not true. Imagine this brand new thing around his neck. He doesn't know what that is. So you have to get him used to that. You can also carry your puppy into dog-friendly stores so he can experience the environment while still feeling safe and held by you. Just remember that people like to pet puppies and they don't always have a lot of boundaries. So make sure how people interact with your puppy is safe and accepted by your puppy and positive for him. So the key to properly socializing a puppy is to make yourself more exciting than everything else and by keeping everything positive for him. So you can do this, achieve this by doing two things. First is by taking your puppy's kibble with you or something more high value like boiled chicken or hot dogs, because you want everything to be positive for your puppy and you want what's coming from you to be better than what your puppy is encountering. So maybe your dog likes, and I don't recommend milk bones, but that's why it's at the bottom of the list. That is the junk food of junk food. Maybe you have a high quality kibble for your puppy or you're feeding him a raw diet. That would be a great thing to bring with you to have to give your puppy. If that's not enough, give him some training treats from the pet store. Maybe there's a bagged package treat that's a little more exciting. I give my dogs a salmon jerky that they love. Maybe that's not enough and you need some peanut butter or cheese. And the top of the list would be raw or cooked human grade meat. So chicken, hot dogs, liver, things like that. So things your dog really would like. And you have to give your dog enough of a value of food that he will pay attention to you instead of what's near him. So maybe you try the kibble, he's ignoring you. You try the packaged treats, he's sort of interested, but still ignoring you a little bit. You pull out the cheese and now you've got his full attention. So that's what you need for that scenario. So in each circumstance, you're going to have to decide what would be the correct payment for your dog in that scenario. Okay, and then the second thing is to properly socialize your puppy. You need to keep him below the threshold of what he can handle without becoming overwhelmed. So maybe you walk into a store and your puppy shuts down, becomes frightened. That is too much for your dog. So then turn around and walk out. Maybe you stand away from the store at a place where your dog can pay attention to you again, and you give him some treats, and then you head out. So that's a way to properly socialize your dog, is by not overwhelming him. One tip here on the food with puppies: when you introduce something new to a puppy, make sure that you use it sparingly, because puppies, their tummies can be upset quite easily sometimes. So use the kibble or any food he's used to as much as you can. And if you need to upgrade, just do so cautiously. Use little food and introduce things slowly, one at a time. So there are a lot of other things we could talk about with puppies, but I wanted to give you just 3 things to get you started. It is so important when you see issues come up with your puppy to address them immediately, because I promise you, they will typically not go away on their own, and they will get worse. We say that dogs do not outgrow things as puppies, they grow into them. So make sure, unless you want an adult dog with those issues, that you are addressing them now when your puppy is little bitty, and it's a lot easier to deal with. So get a crate, get an X-Pen, sign up for a puppy class ASAP. If you need any dog training help online or in the counties of St. Charles, Missouri or St. Louis, Missouri, I'm happy to help you. You can visit my website there. And or look for a certified professional trainer in your area to come to your home. I'm also available for online training over Zoom if you need that. So hopefully this is helpful to all you new puppy owners. Again, congratulations, Merry Christmas. And I will see you next week for our next dog Q&A. All right, bye-bye, everybody.